Carly blogs about her experiences as a single mom. She has grown up taking care of her daughter Sadie, who is about to go to college next year. She loves that she can be a friend for Sadie, who shares her dating life with Carly. She has built a relationship on mutual respect and listening to each other's problems. Carly knows she can never retire from being a mother. Even then, she's at a point where her daughter might not need her anymore. On Carly's birthday, she pretends it doesn't bother her that Sadie is on the phone all the time. Carly's friend Ryder doesn't mind helping Carly clear up because her husband is taking care of her son. Since Sadie wants to hang out with her friend Trish that night, Carly will be left alone. She doesn't mind this free time because she can update her blog. She loves writing her blog, which is popular and has thousands of followers. Meanwhile, Andy, who is a pediatrician, gets a visit from his son, Troy, in his clinic. He wants to borrow some money to hang out with his friend, Stu. Andy wants him to understand the value of money and refuses to lend him even $20. Luckily for Troy, Andy's sister Lauren also works in the clinic and lends him the money. She's too focused on being the fun aunt to care about Andy's lessons. Carly watches as Sadie's friends drop her home. Sadie is still on the phone and heads off to bed later. That night, Carly blogs about her confusion related to parenting. At Ryder's bake sale, Carly discusses her invitation to a bloggers event at the Community Arts Center. Ryder encourages her to attend it because it helps with her numbers. Carly's priority is to register for Sadie's classes at community college. Ryder hopes that will free up her time to enjoy life. Carly's ex-husband Josh walked out on them 14 years ago. Carly has been a great mom, but Ryder thinks it's time she does things for herself too. Andy uses innovative tactics to get an anxious child, Connor, to open his mouth for inspection. Connor just wants to create a mess while his mother, Tracy, keeps flirting with Andy. Lauren also tries to set them up. Andy isn't interested and is relieved when Tracy drags Connor home. Andy and Carly continue to live their single lives as usual. When they get back home after a long day, both their kids are not around. They individually decide to get a chicken taco in the park from a food truck. As they sit next to each other, Carly gets amused by Andy's struggle with the taco. The next morning, Andy heads into Carly's flower shop unintentionally when he spots Tracy and Connor. They recognize each other from the park, so Andy pretends that he needs flowers. When he asks for her suggestions, he learns that she loves roses. Andy claims he needs something ordinary, so she wraps up a bunch of daisies. One night, Ryder invites Henry from church to set him up with Carly. Henry apparently feels a spark with Carly but is very creepy about it. Carly almost runs away from him when he drops her home. Tracy finally gets hold of Andy for dinner and discusses how Connor has been struggling since his dad remarried. Connor keeps jumping around in the restaurant too and takes Andy's fries. Andy tries to be polite even if he's scared. Tracy doesn't see any problem and thinks he's thriving from Bestie Mom's parenting advice. Andy learns that she's a mom blogger who writes about parenting from the soul. Tracy explains that her parenting technique is about being emotionally available to the child without setting rules for them. While Tracy is proud of how Connor turned out, he spills mustard all over Andy's shirt. When Andy gets home, he's angry at Bestie Mom. He gives himself the title of Juggling Dad to comment on her blog. He asks her to keep her advice to herself because not setting rules for kids seems silly. Carly gets offended and writes back to Juggling Dad. She suggests that he should try to listen to his son more to be a better father. One morning in church, Sadie decides that she doesn't want to pursue college right after graduation. She wants to travel the world first. Andy rants to Lauren's husband Simon about Connor and his mother. He hates how Connor has been raised because he generally likes kids. Simon knows Lauren is only setting him up with Tracy because she wants him to be happy. Simon and Lauren make Andy understand that he's a great catch for single women. Andy knows he doesn't want to date anyone who takes advice from Bestie Mom. Lauren thinks Bestie Mom gives great advice, and that Andy's old-school tactics of disciplining his child aren't working. Troy shares some things with her that he's too scared to discuss with Andy. Carly feels disappointed that Sadie wants to travel before studying further. Ryder suggests that she should be honest with Sadie. Even then, Carly doesn't want Sadie to feel like she's not respecting her decisions. When Carly gets back to her blog, she insists that rules always close the doors to any discussions. Juggling Dad thinks she sounds like a fortune cookie and makes him laugh. Carly replies to him aggressively about how he sounds like a dictator with his son. She thinks he should listen to his son more, but he calls her flaky. When Carly takes Sadie shopping, she runs into Andy and Troy. She laughs nervously and asks him about the daisies. When they introduce their kids, Troy recognizes Sadie from his chemistry class. Sadie offers to help him buy shoes from the place she's getting jeans. In the meantime, Andy and Carly get coffee at the food court. Andy is waiting for a college to accept Troy before they discuss financial aid. At the same time, Carly seems worried about Sadie's plans for college changing. They discuss how tough parenting is, and Andy shares that Troy's mother passed away when he was 7. Carly understands how tough it is to communicate with a teenager. They end up sharing fun stories about their kids too. Sadie wants to set them up, but Carly is more interested in Sadie's travel plans. Trish already warned Sadie that Carly might talk her out of traveling. Carly assures Sadie that she wants to make sure she has thought this through. That night, Carly blogs about her daughter deciding to move away from her. Simon has also read Andy's comments on Bestie Mom's blog and thinks their arguments are exciting. He also thinks that Andy should be open to dating, so he mentions that he met someone. Simon asks him not to wait for so long and ask Carly out again. Troy is happy to see Simon and is about to head out to meet Stu. Andy reminds Troy about lasagna nights on Thursdays, but Troy suggests they can do it next week. Andy is always strict with Troy and asks him to be home an hour earlier on a school night. Troy is frustrated because all his friends get to stay out late. When Andy reads Bestie Mom's blog again, he suggests that she should be a grown-up and be strict with her daughter about college. She doesn't want his advice, but he suggests letting her daughter go away for college so she can travel too. Carly knows that won't solve her problem of her daughter being thousands of miles away. Andy suggests that she should be a parent more than a friend to her. At the flower shop, Ryder also thinks Carly should take Juggling Dad's advice. Carly gets nervous when Andy steps into the shop. She informs Ryder about their coffee date and pretends that she is a random customer. When Carly walks Ryder out of the shop, she asks Andy which flowers he wants this time. Andy nervously asks her for a taco lunch date at the park. He instantly regrets it, but she loves how shy he is and agrees to it. Sadie helps Carly find an outfit for her date. Carly thinks Sadie should travel, but she makes sure to discuss how scary it is in a strange country with no help. Troy knows Andy is late for a date and gives him tips to be more casual. When Andy and Carly meet for tacos, she teaches him how to eat it without dropping the contents. Andy discusses how he once gave a shot to a little girl's teddy bear so she would agree for the injection too. He loves helping children and wonders how Carly got into selling flowers. Carly knew she couldn't raise Sadie properly with a regular corporate job. This is when her love for flowers helped her make a profession out of it. She still feels bad that no one gives flowers to a florist like her. They go for a bike ride and enjoy each other's company. Back home, Sadie notices the advice Juggling Dad gave on Carly's blog. This makes her think she should probably do college and travel together. Andy drops Carly off and takes her number. She's all smiles when he kisses her. Sadie mentions Juggling Dad when she gets back home. She now wants to look for colleges in different countries. At a mom bloggers meet, Carly meets Carissa, who has also read Juggling Dad's comments. Lauren discusses work with Andy and likes that he's finally smiling after a date. She wants to know more about Carly, but Andy gets distracted by the poster of the mom bloggers event at the same center. He knows Bestie Mom is also there and realizes that she is Carly. When Tracy interrupts him, he agrees to give Connor an appointment right there to hide from Carly. When Andy doesn't ask her out again, Carly gets anxious. Andy discusses the Bestie Mom situation with Lauren and seems sure that Carly hates him. He doesn't want to start a relationship with a lie, but wants to see her again too. Lauren asks him to forget Juggling Dad like a bad phase if he wants to move forward with Carly. That night, Andy silently watches Carly's comments about how much she hates him. Ryder opines that Carly should call Andy, but she doesn't want to sound desperate. She's also surprised that Juggling Dad has suddenly vanished. Andy asks Troy a hypothetical question about whether someone can find out his online identity. Troy seems sure it would take a proper hacker to do that. Troy just hopes he's not chickening out with Carly. When Carly opens her door, she finds roses from Andy. He admits his feelings for her and apologizes for getting scared and disappearing. Carly gives him one more chance, because she was nervous about her feelings too. He invites her for dinner the following day and gets busy cooking lasagna. When he gives Troy some extra cash to enjoy with Stu that night, Troy seems to love the new dating version of him. At dinner, Andy remembers the day he jumped off from a plane to scratch something off his bucket list. Carly shares that she writes a blog for fun. Andy pretends he doesn't know she's a popular blogger. She starts talking about how she has a hater, who is a huge troll. She doesn't know why people enjoy their arguments because she despises him. He realizes in that moment that she just wants an apology from Juggling Dad. He wants to confess something, but Carly asks him to check dessert first. As she looks around, she learns from his laptop that he's Juggling Dad. She feels hurt that he lied to her and discusses how bad his advice was. Andy tries to explain that he found out recently, but Carly is angry and walks off. A week later, Andy is still scared to contact her because Carly has blocked him. He regrets not telling her sooner and wants another chance. When Troy asks if he can stay out late that night, Andy snaps at him. Troy is frustrated that he never listens, which is why he's eager to leave the house. Ryder thinks Andy didn't tell Carly about the blog because he didn't want to lose her. Carly is still mad about the lie, and because Sadie wants to move far away, she finds it hard to trust Andy now. Even if Ryder thinks she seemed much happier with him, Carly comes home to find Sadie coughing and takes her to the hospital. She keeps waiting for an hour till Andy spots them. He checks Sadie's symptoms and arranges for a bed. After getting her records from her doctor, Andy knows he needs to run some tests. Sadie doesn't want Carly to worry and knows she's scared about her moving away. Andy tries to make Sadie understand that Carly loves her a lot. He knows of good schools nearby and thinks she can consider coming home on weekends if she wants to be near Carly. Andy assures Carly that Sadie's problem can be treated with antibiotics. He apologizes for what he wrote as juggling dad and not listening to her advice about parenting. He thinks she was right about him needing to listen to Troy. She also admits that he was right about her needing to be straightforward with Sadie. When Andy gets home, he notices Troy dropping off his girlfriend. Andy makes him a milkshake and asks about Rebecca. He knows Troy wanted to stay out late that night for her. He feels bad for not listening to Troy and assures him he will change that. Troy wants Andy to know that he has done a great job as a single parent. He also feels like it's time that Andy fixes things with Carly. When Sadie feels better, she teases Carly about how much Andy likes her. She wants to stay back home for Carly, but Carly doesn't want her to. She now knows that she can't be selfish and hold on to Sadie forever. She asks Sadie to take her time to figure out what she wants to do with college. Lauren lets Andy know that she's proud of what he has done with Troy. At the Mom Blogger Symposium, Carissa asks Carly about juggling dad again. Their banter has caught so much attention that all the readers want to know about him. Since Sadie feels better, Carly suggests they can plan a road trip to check out some colleges nearby. Sadie is glad for the help and assures Carly that she still needs her sometimes. Before they begin the events, Carissa calls Andy on stage. He reveals that he's juggling dad and admits that Bestie Mom educated him about parenting. He thinks of Carly as a great mom and admits that he has fallen for her. He feels bad for all the things he said online and wants to be better if she gives him another chance. He steps out of the stage with yellow and red roses and asks Carly to choose. They end up kissing and the movie ends there.